I'm Jamie Grace.
And I'm Morgan, and we're from Los Angeles, California.
And we are Team Green from season 3 of Relative Race.
Party like a princess.
We're going to Tulsa?
Party like a princess.
Time starts now. Are you serious? Yes! Are we in trouble?
Like a princess. I don't need a prince to party like a princess.
Y'all, we literally had flip phones with no technology, and we competed against 3 other teams to try to win $50,000. What? Turn in there, right in there. What in the world?
On season 3, we raced from Washington, D.C. to Washington, D.C., finding family that we never knew we had.
Except we didn't make it back to Washington, D.C. What in the world? No.
That means you're out of the race.
We did not win. We may have even gotten eliminated first.
Very first.
But we had an amazing time. It was an incredible journey that we will never forget.
Princess, I don't need a prince to party like a princess.
I think the biggest thing that people don't understand about relative race is you always have to be on.
Cameras, please. Speed.
Guys, hold up right there, stop.
We'll get set up for the interviews.
Everybody speeding?
Everything is so real. I mean, you literally are racing against a clock, and you're kind of terrified, but also having the best time of your life.
It really does look like an adventure, and it is. It's just an adventure where you are probably constantly having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Watching myself, how we run.
Blue team!
Where y'all been?
Why do we run like?
We run with such fear and angst.
We're always running like someone is actively chasing us.
Our driving was not bad, though.
Yeah.
It was the challenges.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm doing it right.
because, spoiler alert, we didn't always win the challenges.
What in the world are we gonna stack on top of that? The one time you almost dabbed one of the crew guys with a dart.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I kicked one of them with a football.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Cody, I'm so sorry, bro.
I never thought we'd be doing challenges like this in a hurricane.
Yeah.
Our path took us right through the path of a hurricane that was going on.
It's been called one of the worst hurricanes to breach the coast of Texas.
The weather was really unpredictable.
Severe alert / flood warning, this area. The crew had to constantly check the weather to make sure that we weren't actually in the hurricane.
Yeah.
So safety was the priority, but at the same time, it's like, why am I here?
Yeah.
If you remember anything from my time on Relative Race, I was very open and confident in being like, hey, I'm single, do you have a brother? But since the show, I got married. And just around our 6-month wedding anniversary, we found out that we were expecting. And I just gave birth to our little girl, Isabella. Erin and I found out that we were pregnant, and we were so excited to tell Morgan and her husband, Patrick. And so we told them, and Morgan just stared, and then she looked at her husband, and she looked at me, and they didn't have to say a word. I said to her, come on, are you pregnant too?
Gonna celebrate, raise your glass so high. Gonna celebrate next time of our life.
Our family dynamic has changed in a big way since our son Jacob has been born, because now we don't have like the set hours that we used to have. We're able to rely on each other. We're able to compare notes, and we're still doing that.
Like, are you tired too?
It's a real blessing to have that.
We live close to each other, but also our parents live very close as well. So it's incredible. I mean, I'm so grateful that our families are not only physically close in proximity, but that we're also just really close to each other. It's really great. Since the show, you would think that I was like, okay, married, I got a baby, gotta chill out. No, why not? I started a second YouTube channel, and my husband and I have a family channel now, which is so cool because we get to show people what our lives are like day to day. I try to sing with Isabella. She doesn't understand the concept of sharing the stage. She has surpassed my husband in Instagram followers, and he was a little sad about that.
Really? How many Instagram followers?
Isabella has about 20,000 Instagram followers, I believe.
One of the things that I did before the show was I started making these cards to take with me on the show.
So I told you about this project that I started. It features some of my hand-painted work.
Appreciate
Just wanted to share
that. Thank you
with
guys.
Creating this for the show actually led to me coming up with this idea of writing for people's stories. On a daily basis, people send me stories and I randomly select people to write and make art for. Then I send them the art first and then I share it with Instagram as my main platform. In doing that, one of the really neat things that has happened is that it's led to a book deal. My book is called All Along You Were Blooming, and it's a book that tells stories through poetry, and it's always been a dream of mine to publish a book, and now I get to do that.
Since the show, we've gotten to stay in touch with every single one of our relatives. I know, it's so good to see you guys. I've gotten really close to the Lucas family from Oklahoma. Can we put our stuff in here?
Go right ahead.
Wait, are you a relative?
I am your relative.
Wait, for real?
For real. So, I really am your relative. Yes.
I talk to Clayton and his family like at least once a month. Wait, okay, hold on. Somebody has a cast on.
We were trying to hide it.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, I hope you get better soon.
Clayton's youngest son, Henry, and I, we really connected. I oftentimes connect with really young kids because they talk a lot, and that's very much like me. How long do you have to wear the cast?
Until it gets better.
Oh, okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. That makes sense. And just as we were getting closer to my wedding date and planning it, I knew I had to pick a ring bearer, and I knew I had to be a kid that was important to me, and Henry was just the first kid I thought of. I'm like, he's my little buddy, so I wanted him to be a part of the special day. Y'all gotta come out this way, because do y'all know if you're coming out here anytime soon?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that today. I think it'll probably be May, right after school. Nice. We'll probably come out.
I'm your cousin.
Oh, so nice to meet you.
From the moment that Kim and I met, I think we had a very emotional connection. Like, we both just seem to kind of be very emotional people.
So my great-grandfather and your great-grandfather were brothers.
Really cool.
I had a couple of concerts in town, and she and her son came to the concerts, like every single one. She was so sweet, she waited in the autograph line after. I'm like, Kim, we're family, you don't have to do that.
Hello.
Kim!
How are you?
I'm good.
You're like married now.
I know, like we're married now.
I know, like we're all growing up. She wanted to get married, and it was a destination wedding, and she was like, do you remember that one show? There was a song you sang, like, I wish there was a way you could be there to sing for her wedding, and I actually got to sing the song that she walked down the aisle to. That was really cool.
It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How was the music for your wedding?
Where I walked out to your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful medley that you created for me, and it was perfect.
That makes me so happy.
So we were eliminated on day 8, which means there was a relative on day 9 that we didn't actually get to meet.
And that weighed on us so heavy. But then I found out that relative, her name was Jessica. I took a few extra days at the end of my tour, and I surprised her at her house and got to meet her for the first time.
We were almost at Jessica's house. So excited.
Relative Ice came to us and they told us that she was adopted when she was a baby, and she had actually never met a biological relative.
Hello! Hi!
And to hug Jessica for the first time, and to know that, like, I am the first blood that she's ever hugged, that she has ever known, like, it was almost too much to handle, but it was like such a privilege to carry that.
How are you doing? It's so nice to meet you. I'm so glad I came.
We cried for 2 days straight together. We were both very like huggy, so we were both like cuddled up on the couch, and she has like a little 9-year-old girl, and the three of us were just there crying and laughing. And She has since gotten to meet her mom and her dad and her siblings. And it's just really cool. It's really cool to know that like relative race was a part of that and that I got to be a part of that.
I know that I am just really grateful for the opportunity to have been on this show because we're connected in a much deeper way than we ever thought was possible. And, you know, that's an experience that I hope that everybody gets to have in their life in some capacity, is meeting people who you're like, yes, we're family.
I thought I had a clear vision of what my family was going into relative race. I've got my parents, my sister, my extended family. And then relative race changed all of that, and I added all of these new family members. Everything about family continues to change, but one thing that remains the same is the joy, the beauty of family, but it's somehow still the same, and that's just what family is.